This is my very first Zoom interview. So,
Awesome. Thanks for having me.
yes, I am a huge fan of Supernatural, and of course, it being the last season, want to have as much coverage as possible, especially considering we had such a large break.
Yeah, no kidding.
Exactly. How familiar were you with Supernatural before you were cast?
Well, I was in season 1 as well.
Mm-hmm.
And at that time, I mean, it was a brand new show when I first learned about it. It hadn't aired yet when we shot
Mm-hmm.
season 1, episode 5. So I hadn't seen it at all. I read a lot about it on, all the trades like Deadline and The Reporter and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, it was kind of like a fresh
Mm-hmm.
show here. So I didn't know a ton about it when I first started working on it. Obviously, I followed it since, but yeah.
Well, that's pretty cool that you were in like the very first season and the very last season.
Yeah,
So kind of like gone for full circle.
totally.
If you can remember back to 15 years ago, what were, other than of course it being an established show, what do you remember that would be different or the same as between filming for the first season and filming for 15th?
You know what's the same is the family, the on-set family. It's like a very, very close cast and crew because they've worked together for so long. The cinematographer is still the same guy that was on set with me 15 years ago. It still has that same like family feel. They like work like it's like a clock, like
Mm-hmm.
everything just works perfectly. And so at that time when I first met them, they were just starting to get their footing as a team, but they were already 5 episodes in, so they kind of had a bit of a rhythm.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I came back for episode 15, it was just like this seamless clockwork that they all have together, this little interlanguage. So that part was really neat to see, and to kind of step back in. It felt like I was going back in time a bit.
Back in season 1, did you ever think it would have gone for 15 seasons?
No, definitely not. And the show
It's
has changed so much too since then. Like at that point, it was kind of a monster of the week kind of a
Mhm.
serial show. And then it kind of turned more into the story between the boys and all that stuff. So it's changed so much and
Sure.
evolved.
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely evolved, that's for sure. So tell us about working with the cast and crew.
Gosh, they're awesome. I mean, I can't say anything but great stuff about them. The boys are so welcoming, and they have zero ego about what they're doing. They'll work with you like one-on-one, like stand with you, talk to you, work with you, welcome you to the crew. Everybody, I mean, from the even from the casting to the producers to everybody on set, it's just like a really, really nice, like I said, like a family.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
it's probably one of the best set experiences I've had for sure in my career.
And that's definitely not the first time I've heard that. I've heard that from many, many other guest stars. It's just the way that everyone portrays themselves, and it's just like always so welcoming, which is really, really nice to hear. I'm very sad that it's
I know. I know. Trust me. It's been an establishment here in Vancouver where I live, for so long, pretty much my entire career, because Supernatural was one of my first jobs. So yeah, it's going to be weird with that show being gone.
Yeah. Do you have any behind the scenes stories you'd like to share?
Oh man, do I ever?
It's always a good thing to hear.
Yeah. Well, in season 1, they did prosthetics for my eyes so that my eyes would bleed. And so they had to put these little kind of like veins, I guess, underneath my eyes, and then put these prosthetic pieces on top. And they called me to set that day at I think my call time was like 3:30 in the morning, because the prosthetics team had to apply these, and then they had to have them functioning for set. And I had like a sinus infection or something. Like I had some my face was really, really sore, and I was all snotty. So I was taking, I don't know, medication, and you can't not work on your days when you have to work, So I took some medication, and they put this stuff on. It was super, super sore. And then when they turned them on, the bleed didn't work properly. It bled right through. And so they had to reapply. And so it took us 23 hours that day to get that shot. It was a 23-hour workday for the whole cast and crew.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm sure Jared and Jensen then do actually remember you.
Yeah.
There can't be very many 23.
Yeah, it was a very long day. But we finally got it. And that was, you know, back then they did more practical stuff. Now, when we went back to do all of the stuff, everything's all done visual effects. So it's a lot easier and it doesn't take as much time. And I mean, it takes more money because visual effects are expensive, but they, like I said, they have it all down to a T now. They figured it all out.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So what was your experience like on set and back in like in this most currently in season 15?
In season, awesome. I mean, it was super fun. I had to go. I don't know if I'm sure you watched the premiere, but when the character's in that pool of water and she comes up from the child, like, and gets the child when she's chasing her, they called me a couple days before I had to work, and they're like, "So are you okay with getting in the water?" And I was like, "Yeah." "What do you mean?" They're like, "Well, we're gonna have you hold your breath and then climb out of this pool." And I was like, "Oh, okay, sure." And so anyways, I get on set, and myself and the other two actors that were the other ghosts were stunt people, and I'm not a stunt person, but the stunt director was working with me, and everybody on set thought I was one of the stunt people because I kept climbing out of this pool and like hobbling around. I'm like, I'm not a stunt person. But it was really fun. And they were so awesome. They created that little pool. They actually built it in somebody's backyard just for this episode. And they heated it for me. So it was like all warm and nice. And anyway, that was a pretty cool experience.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Running down the street soaking wet. Yeah.
Yeah, that was, I just rewatched your parts of the episode this morning. That was kind of crazy. It must have been, because I know I have seen on social media people saying who lived on that street and familiar with their show. They're like, why are Sam, Dean, and Cass running from someone? Usually they're running towards danger rather than away from danger.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Definitely interesting. So with this episode, did you have any makeup at all on, or
oh yeah
yeah
oh yeah the special effects teams did like full body makeup on me. They just didn't have to do prosthetic pieces, so like they're like these pieces that they glue on. They didn't have to do that. They did the bleeding visual effects.
How long did the makeup take?
Probably about 2 hours.
That's not bad.
Yeah, it wasn't so bad. She's a pro. She's fantastic.
Definitely.
Special effects makeup.
Yes. So how have you been handling the lockdown?
It's been interesting. I have kids, so it's been a bit of a tricky road with homeschooling and stuff like that. And yeah, where are you?
I'm in northern BC, actually. I'm in Prince George.
Okay.
Yes,
awesome.
where it's plus 11. It's cold.
Oh yeah.
We've been dipping down to plus 6 at night. It's crazy.
Oh wow. Wow. Yeah.
So
well, at least we're not total lockdown here in BC. So
no, it's not.
You know, we can still get outside and
exactly.
You know, do things in small groups, but
yeah,
it's definitely a weird world.
It is a very strange world. I mean, I've seen, probably one of the funniest things I've seen was a video from a convention where Jensen mentions that, well, perhaps there won't be an actual season finale because there will be some sort of no, he didn't actually say an epidemic, but like the Armageddon or something like that. So the end of the world, which is kind of funny.
It is really weird.
That was my last question. Thank you so much for your time. I'm going to edit this and hopefully have it up in the next few days or so, depending on how long it takes.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me.
Yes,
thanks for reaching out.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And good luck with everything.
Yeah. Have a good day.
Thank you. You too.
Bye.
Bye.